Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Saturday the 1st of July 2023. Who would have thought we're halfway through the year already? We're publishing our gold and silver weekly update for the week ending the 30th of June. Gold, silver, equity markets were either level or up last week, but that's not surprising in view of the data that was announced. So we'll take a look, see what's happened, and see what we expect to happen this coming week. Okay, first just a quick reminder, we've set up a second channel entitled Finances Do Matter with over 110 videos. I'm producing around 5 a week covering a whole array of financial topics. We've placed a link to this channel in the description box and comment section below. Meanwhile, going back to what happened last week, gold fell $2. Falling from 1921 to 1,919, having been as high as 1,933 and as low as $1,893, a fall of just 0.01%, so basically unchanged to all extents and purposes. In sterling terms, gold finished the week at £1,514, that's up £1, and in euros it closed at €1,760, that's down €5. Silver, however, rose 34 cents, rising from $22.44 to $22.78, having hit a high of $23.11 and a low of $22.30, a rise of 1.5%. In sterling terms, silver closed at £17.97, that's up 30 pence on the week, and in euros it closed at 20.91 euros, that's up 0.26 euros. Obviously, the gold to silver ratio fell, and it fell from 85.6 to 1 to 84.3 to 1. Still in the 80s, though. The difference between gold's high and low was $40, much lower than previous weeks, and the difference between silver's high and low was 81 cents. I think that's the lowest disparity for many months. But it was a pretty uneventful week. Now, this is what we said last week concerning our forecast. Quote, as the FOMC is not meeting again for another 4+ weeks, and we've already had the bad news from around Europe of higher rates, one could argue gold and silver could settle a little until more data is announced. We therefore expected gold to trade between $1,875 and $1,975, which it did, and we forecast silver to trade between $21.50 and $23.50. Again, it did just that, broadly in the middle of that forecast. Now, before we discuss what happened and why, let's look at other financials. Bitcoin currently stands at $30,511. That's down $127. Equities were up. The Dow Jones closed at 34,407. That's up 680 points. The S&P is up 102 at 4,450. The Nasdaq is up 295 at 13,787. And even the FTSE 100 index was up 70 points at 7,531. Unfortunately, oils were higher too. Brent crude closed at $74.90. That's up just over $1.05 to be precise. And WTI crude closed at $70.64. That's $1.48 higher. The dollar index stands at 102.91. That's up 0.01 points on the week, basically unchanged, though it had fallen slightly on Friday. So, broadly, everything of any substance, we're up, all the same. But in terms of economic data announcements last week, new home sales were higher, strongly, as was the Consumer Confidence Index. And GDP figures for Q1 was revised upwards to 2%. And the core PCE index year over year was down marginally from 4.7% to 4.6%. Compared to Europe and compared to the United Kingdom, those are excellent figures, but still way off the target of 2%. Now, in my view, these figures and the robustness of the economy strengthens the argument for the Fed to raise rates again in July. And yet, at least for the moment, markets have brushed this off and have risen. This coming week, we have manufacturing PMIs on Monday, nothing on Tuesday as it's the July the 4th holiday. Happy holiday to all our US followers. Wednesday, we have the ADP employment report, which will be watched closely as a guide to the full employment report due out on Friday. Now, although the FOMC will not be meeting again until 25th and 26th of July, these reports will be taken into account to some degree by analysts. So all eyes Wednesday and Friday. Now let's look a little more closely at gold and silver. Last week we commented that gold is characterized at the moment as being in a consolidation phase, and the 100-day EMA is an important support level. Chartists are now saying that yesterday, Friday, gold set up a potentially bullish doji hammer reversal candlestick pattern. I'll say that again, a potentially bullish doji hammer reversal candlestick pattern, following a bounced off support around the 200-day EMA. Gold was up some $16 on Friday, and it suggested we should see gold rise to anywhere between $1,937 and $1,983 this week. So they've seen this as quite bullish. If it goes beyond that, then $1,900 or just shy of it is on the cards. However, should gold break down below the 50-week EMA, we could see, though it's not going to happen this week, a decline to as low as $1,800. Silver's had a bullish week, but that does follow a bearish previous week or two. Again, chartists predict support at the 22 level, $22 that is, and strong resistance at 24. Now, we're still receiving hawkish statements by the Federal Reserve, rate hikes by multiple central banks in Europe and around the world, and the promise of more to come. Now, we've produced videos on all these factors on our Finances Do Matter channel, link below. Now, the difficult balance to assess is that whilst commodities tend to fare well when the economy is in crisis, if there is a global recession, a number will find also, though, lower demand, and especially for silver. Whilst from a monetary point of view it will be attractive, from an industrial usage point of view it could decline. It's for this reason we're of the view that silver could indeed be range bound for some time, somewhere between $20 and $26, certainly over the coming weeks if not months. So where do we see gold and silver moving next week? Well, the FOMC is not meeting for another 4 weeks as mentioned earlier, and so early data points will only have a minimal impact. More is potentially likely to change what happens to these prices in the geopolitical landscape, and particularly if there's any realistic opportunity for peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. We'll have to wait and see on that. So we expect gold, therefore, to trade between $1,875 and $1,975, with $1,850 to $2,000 as outliers. We forecast silver to trade between $21.75 and $23.75, with $21.25 and $24 as outliers, though realistically we're more likely to see silver oscillate between 22 and 23. What do you think? Please share your thoughts. Just a final reminder, we place a link for our Finances Do Matter channel, and we thank you for listening to this one. We'd appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up, subscribe and press the bell sign. Have a great weekend, a safe weekend, a happy July the 4th to our US followers, and let's hope next week and the coming weeks ahead are prosperous for us all.